Hello, welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? It was so bright in here, I had to shut my mini blinds. It was just like a glaring light. Yeah. So, do you buy Christmas ornaments for your kids? That was just a tradition we had started when my first daughter was born, and after that we just kept buying. We would buy them a special ornament every year. Now, there's been a few years where my boy specifically would buy a set. You know what I mean? Like one time there was power tools and there was 4 different ones. So then my son, I think the one has one. I don't think he has a whole set. But the other one has like the whole set of power tools. And then there was one year where there was all these glittery ornaments, like they're dipped in glitter. And my oldest son got like 6 of them, and I think 1 broke. But, so over the years, like my tree has been really, really full. And I remember when my oldest daughter moved out, and that Christmas she actually took her ornaments with her. It was really sad not to be putting her ornaments on the tree. And then I found out later that she was actually crying the whole time she put her tree up because it was her tree and she wasn't putting them on at home. Now, my youngest daughter, I don't think she had any problem with that. Yeah, I don't think she had any problems with that because she even took her stocking with her. Which was, no, that wasn't an option. To take the Christmas stocking, you just leave it at Mom's house. Yeah, so all I have is my boys' 3, the 3 boys, their Christmas ornaments, and so every once in a while I will buy an ornament here or there, so I have ornaments for my tree, when they all move out. Do you do that? Do you do anything like that? Do you put up a tree? I know my grandma got to the point where she didn't want to put up a tree, and my mom's kind of at that point, where a little tree is all they need. Yeah, I do like the lights. We are light people. Yeah. But anyway, today we are doing, I have this glare, you guys, on my glasses. And I'm just like, I don't know where it's coming from. Gotta be the windows. Is that the windows? But anyway, today we are doing another Christmas soap. Yes, so be kind, be forgiving, be you, and let's go check out the second Christmas soap. Baby, it's cold outside. Okay, into our soap. I can't believe it's Friday. Where the heck did this week go? I know where it went, but it's like, where did it go? But anyways, we're starting with the same recipe as the first soap. Okay? And as you can see, I am slowly adding my lye water because it has a boatload of stearic acid in it. And palm and stearic just hate my guts. If you know me, you know I say it all the time. But these actually didn't do too bad. These were actually pretty fluid. So kudos to me for doing it as slow. Yeah, if I dump that in, it'll just get thick on me. But anyway, I wanted this to be a little fluid, just for starters, and I wanted it to be fluid. I had this idea in my head, and it was spectacular. I should probably put it as the thumbnail. Like, this is what I thought I was getting. Yeah. But that's okay. That's okay. The fragrance oil for this is peppermint candy, actually, from Wholesale Supplies Plus, mixed with peppermint swirl from Aztec. Why? Because I was using up my peppermint fragrance oils that need to be used up, which is a great reason to use them, right? Yeah. They do have an expiration date, so yeah, you can't really collect them for very long. But anyway, the color for this was Silver Mist again and Baby Blue. That is the Baby Blue. I think that's from Nurture's Handmade. I don't consider it baby blue. Like Mad Micah's has a pool blue. I think that is what I think of when I think baby blue. But this one's more of a grayish blue. It's a very pretty color. Like, I'm not knocking the color. It's just for some things it doesn't always fit. But I thought it would fit perfectly with this because I wanted, this snowy sky. This blizzard, not a blizzard, but you know what I mean? Like this winter feeling vibe. For some reason, blue to me, is a winter color. Now, if you say Christmas, red and green, but winter, blue. Even though right now we're very brown. It's amazing how fast we turn brown. Like, it hit 17, degrees one night, and it just seemed like everything turned brown. There are a few things in my garden that are still green, but the dill is not, and I probably should go rip it out. Otherwise, I'm going to have dill patches again in my garden. But back to this soap. The theory was a winter scene, a winter wonderland type thought process. But I actually hit it again with a stick blender because it was, and it could be the fragrance oils. I wanted it a little bit thicker for this bowl swirl that I was planning on doing. Yes. If only you could freeze the soap right there, how the blue is. So pretty. Yeah, I know. I'm just like, do I mix it? What do I do? What do I do? Do I dare do this? Sometimes you overmix. Sometimes it needed a mix. And you just never know because it's in a bowl. But, so this is all I did, really. It was supposed to be a gorgeous drop swirl. Okay, gorgeous drop swirl with those beautiful colors intertwined. That was it. Wasn't a complicated pour, just because there was more complications planned at the end of this, which, depending on the thumbnail, yeah, you definitely saw it. And then eco glitter on the top, because it's winter, you guys. Our winters, when we have snow and the lights, the lights hit it, it's just a sparkle. It's a beautiful sparkle. And this is my soap. It got a little hot. All my eco glitter is missing. And sorry if you hear my grandkids, they are just a little loud. But there's nothing really to the top of this. But then you look at the inside, and remember I told you the first two Christmas soaps just weren't that great? Yeah. You'll see. I mean, the top I was not excited for at all, but I was just like, that's okay, because my plan it was going to make up for it at the end, right? I'm going to make up for it, is my thought process, but there was a slight problem. Yeah, it's ishy. It was super soft again, and I just don't know, guys. I don't know why, but it was super soft. And then I had massive soda ash on it. Massive. And I was like, nope. Guess what? We're rebatching. Yep. So no water added, just the soap chunks themselves. And I really don't need to add water because they're full of water, right? They haven't lost their water weight, so there's no point. And then I decided I wanted it a little bit bluer, so I added a little bit of Indigo Girls blue. My container's almost out, so it was fine. So there's all that mica in there. There's the in case you're interested in this color, it's the Indigo Girls, it's the baby blue, and it's the silver mist. So yep, into the mold. Just heated it up on I usually put it on high for like a half an hour, and then I turn it down to warm, in there. And if it doesn't seem like it's warming up, then you just turn it up to low and, play tag with the crock pot until it all comes out swimmingly, or chunkily in this case. But definitely, you can see why I did the hot process soaps that I did, because after doing this, I was like, I'm done with this. I'm going back to the chalkboard. This is just ridiculous, And I could have added water to this, like more water, and made it really, really fluid, but I just, no, no. So what do I do with the top? What do I do with this top? I mean, it looked atrocious before. It was just flat. It was just kind of ugly. Not that this turned out any better, but it was definitely a different top. Yeah. Very, very different than any soap top I have ever done. The anticipation's killing me. No, really just, yeah. I had to do something with that mica because it's actually mica in oil. It's not in water, so it's actually in oil. But here is how it turned out the second time. A little bit craggly because of the hot process. And the top is actually kind of cute in a way. If I had little choo-choo trains or something going on there. Maybe like, the train to the North Pole. I don't know. But yeah, it was, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I had trouble with both of these soaps, and I wasn't happy. And I mean, it's been a rebatching type of year. It really was. Even though when you see the third soap, it didn't have these problems. So, but yeah, so it wasn't quite exactly what I planned, but they were definitely weird, definitely harder. It's almost like there was too much water, but you saw the first one. It was the oil leaking out. It wasn't water. And this one was so soft, and then it got ugly because it had the soda ash, and I couldn't get the soda ash off. I mean, I tried steaming it. I tried the alcohol trick. I tried give it more oil. It was just not pretty at all. And so this is what I ended up with, was this baby blue. This is really baby blue to me. A baby blue bar. Just fixing that one. I'll do a better job after I get off the camera. But yeah, okay. So here comes the rest of the process. How do I get this little guy that I thought was not made from a freaking 3D printer? The stuff they can do with those things is amazing. But I'll tell you what, I probably should have waited because this is right after I cut it. But I tell you what, those they're amazing, but the stuff can break. Like they were telling me this thing was going to be, it's hardy duty and blah blah blah, and yeah, maybe if it was a really soft soap, but I couldn't get that face that's on there to come through, and I didn't want to break it. And so then I was like, well, we'll just go back and do square one, and we'll just work it out from there. So this is activated charcoal in a little bit of rubbing alcohol, 91% isopropyl alcohol. And, I was going to do the frame. That's my little chunk there, my end piece. And so it was a little bit of a process to figure out how I was going to do this exactly. The only problem with the blue was it was in oil. It's not in alcohol. The blue was in oil, and I realized that after I did a couple of them. I was like, oh, this is going to take forever to soak in. That's not the normal way I do painting on soaps. So then I went back to doing a red, which you can see here. So I just laid them out. I stamped them all. I traced them with the black. I went in with the orange, did the feet and the beak. I actually was going to put googly eyes on this, but I have this friend who always wants to eat my soaps, but he also told me, because my bees and my seashells and my rocks that I sometimes randomly put on my soaps, he has to clean them out of the tub, because sometimes they get stuck in the drain. And I did take that into consideration, and I thought, boy, googly eyes would be, they would definitely get caught in, hair in the drain and all the other stuff that goes down the drain in the tub and shower. And so I thought, I'm not going to put googly eyes. It'd be just too cute, and then nobody would use the soap, would they? Would you use soap with googly eyes on it? I wouldn't. So this is what I did. This is what I ended up with. Not quite the design I had pictured, but I have to call it a win. They definitely turned out cute. I thought they were adorable. Penguins are absolutely my favorite. Here are the fragrance notes for these penguin bars. Here are the bars after I cut them the second time, and here are the bars when they are totally cured. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by, and I will see you next time. God bless.